Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our community update with Appleton Police Chief Todd Thomas.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, let's start with this driver's ed instructor, 74-year-old Charles Rogers, who worked at Tri-County Driving for like 19 years. He's charged with several things, including attempted sexual assault of a student. Tell us how the investigation went.
Yeah, this is tragic, but it could have been a lot worse, all but for the courage of a young girl coming forward and a trusting relationship that she had with some school staff members and a school resource officer. There was some uncomfortable contact and conversation between her and Mr. Rogers. She had known the school resource officer before, trusted him, told him about this, and the school resource officer and another investigator worked on it right away. Started chatting with Mr. Rogers. He made some inappropriate comments, had scheduled a meeting with her to have some relations. He was arrested when he showed up for the meeting. So now we're reaching out to the parents. So we know this is scary. I've got a daughter that's gone through driver's ed. I've got one that's going to be going through it in a few years. So we want to make sure parents are aware of this. They have a conversation with their child if they did go through Mr. Rogers' class, and make sure nothing inappropriate happened. But also it's an opportunity for them to talk about behavior, proper behavior, and what their child should do if they feel uncomfortable in a situation or something happens. They should go to a trusted adult, talk to a parent, talk to somebody at the school. This worked out. Thankfully, it wasn't worse. It could have been much worse. There wasn't any physical contact outside of the vehicle, but we want to make sure that if there's are any other victims out there, they come forward so that we can talk with them and get them the help they need.
Yeah, and you know, as a parent, you never think a driver's ed instructor, you know, you think your kid's going to be in safe hands. So, like you said, a lot of credit to that 15-year-old girl for coming ahead and saying something. That fire yesterday in Appleton ripped through several businesses and apartments at 201 North Appleton Street, and now part of the roads are still closed there, Chief.
Right, yeah, I talked to the fire chief last night. You know, thankfully, nobody was hurt. That was one of those types of fires that, with natural gas involved, it could have been tragic. A lot of property loss. It's going to be a couple weeks, I'm told. We're going to have the streets shut down around that area. You'll still be able to get through, but we would just encourage people to avoid that area probably for the next couple weeks till we can decide, or they can decide what they're going to do with the building and make sure the area is safe.
Now, vaping is becoming an increasing problem with kids in school, and Appleton may be taking a stance on this.
Yeah, you guys have done a few stories on vaping. I think it's pretty well accepted now, the dangers of vaping. We still have, there's just a disconnect between the state laws with tobacco and smoking and vaping. It's one of those where the laws weren't keeping up with the change in technology. So we're going to have the discussion in Appleton, much like a lot of other jurisdictions have had, about making it illegal for minors to possess vaping devices. If you look at the statistics, vaping has become more popular with our juveniles than actually cigarette smoking. And one of the really scary studies from the CDC is a third of those nationally that were surveyed, third of the children said they have smoked marijuana and vaping devices. And it's so hard for law enforcement to tell. We really can't tell what substance they're partaking in or what they're using. It's become a real issue in the schools. So we want to get ahead of that, and much like a lot of other municipalities, talk about creating some regulations for that.
Yeah, and we just reported this morning, Swamico is one of those that recently just enacted one of those laws too, so you can expect Appleton to follow suit there in just a little bit. All right, your website, this is pretty cool. There's a new community dashboard, and people can go on there and check out pretty much everything that you guys are doing, right?
Yeah, this is, I'm kind of a data junkie, so this is kind of cool for me. If you go to our website, you've got a picture of it there. Just go to the Appleton Police Department website. On our main page, there's a button on the bottom. You can click to get to our community dashboard, and that will show you the statistics you're seeing there. Upper left-hand corner, you can change the date range, so you can look back, compare the prior week to the week before. You can go back 30 days or 90 days, but it'll show you burglaries, OWIs, thefts, where we're at and what we're trending at. And then if you want to see the map, if you go to the left side of the screen and you click on, say, the burglary box, the map on the bottom will actually pop up and show you a little pinpoint where the burglaries are. So you can look at your neighborhood in the last 90 days and you'll be able to tell, well, are there any burglaries in my neighborhood in the last 90 days? Are there any thefts, OWIs, things like that. And then you can actually click on it like you're doing there, and it'll tell you an incident number. So if you want to get more information, you can call us and request a copy of the report, and we can give you the information.
Wow.
That is a really great tool to keep yourself safe and informed in your community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. All right, Appleton Police Chief Todd Thomas with some good information as always out of Appleton. Appreciate the time. Thanks for being here. We got checking the forecast coming up on Local 5 this morning. Stay with us.